Remember the tens of thousands of children apprehended at the U.S. Mexico border last spring?
Sheltering those children as they entered a long immigration court process has been and continues to be a carefully guarded operation. I spoke with people who have had an inside look at where those children have been held.
Last year, nearly 60,000 unaccompanied minors from Central America were apprehended at the U.S. Mexico border. Over 100 of them were brought to this facility. Since their arrival, little has been known about what has happened to these children. Until now. Southwest Key took ownership of this old college housing last summer. Reporters have never been allowed on the site. In fact, as you can see, security guards monitor the only entrance into the fenced facility. And now an enormous privacy wall is being built to close off the view from the street. Patricia Mejia has volunteered at Southwest Key nearly since it opened last summer. Her first task, letting the kids inside know what's in store for them. She describes a chaotic scene at first.
I remember there was one 6-month-old baby in one of my Know Your Rights presentations, and it was just kind of funny, you know, how is he going to understand what this is all about?
The Southwest Key facilities started with over 100 kids on Oracle Road. She says that number dropped to as little as 5. Right now, there's about 20 inside. Children are placed in nearly hotel-like conditions, with staffers watching over several rooms at once. She feels the children were being well cared for.
When we asked the children, because we had, you know, privacy, we asked them, are you being treated okay? And nobody reported any problems. They were very happy with the food.
The kids also attend school on site.
I know some of them go out on field trips on the weekends and things like that, but they have to return there every night, you know, to sleep.
But it's the kids leaving the facility that have her worried. Last year, nearly 60,000 children were captured at the U.S. Mexico border. Many described a grueling trip north through Mexico. Some were abused at shelters like this one in Nogales, Mexico, by local police. And on this side of the border, children and entire families of Central Americans were loaded on planes and buses and then shuttled around the country. Some were kept in federal buildings like these kids who stayed in the Border Patrol's Nogales station. Once inside facilities like Southwest Keys, many are reunited with relatives. But if their family members were already here illegally, the News 4 Tucson investigators have learned there's nobody to watch over the kids while they wait for their cases to be heard. And with thousands of cases, that can take years.
The family member is supposed to be responsible for taking them to court and providing for them. But no one really follows up with them. There were too many.
The News 4 Tucson investigators went to the consulate of one of the countries that saw the largest number of kids smuggled into the U.S., El Salvador. Consul officials work with their U.S. counterparts to identify relatives picking up the kids. For those living here illegally, government officials use Salvadoran documents. After that, it's up to relatives. However, the consul said paying for those looming court fights awaiting those kids is also up to their family members.
It's an obligation, if it could be called that, of the parent or of the guardian.
Spring is the time of year when border crossings are known to surge. After being overrun last year, Customs and Border Protection is beefing up personnel at the border, including deploying about 200 National Guard troops there. If you have a tip for News 4 Tucson investigators, email us at investigators@KVOA.com or call the tip line at 955-4444. Investigating for you, Sean Mooney, News 4 Tucson.